Hello everybody, it's me, the Excellent Reviewer, and I'm not gonna lie, it's somewhat hard to come up with videos due to the current pandemic to do about modern day current wrestling, but I figured that we talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a while, and that's Becky Lynch's fading star. Becky Lynch's fading star is nothing new to hear, as especially since she made her main roster debut, she's been terribly mistreated. And although she was given a few breaks when she first came up, especially with her winning the first ever SmackDown Women's Championship, it felt as though she was never really the top star of the SmackDown Women's division, and not too long after, she lost the title to Alexa Bliss. Becky Lynch was given another opportunity at the SmackDown Women's title at the 2018 SummerSlam in a triple threat match against Charlotte Flair and Carmella. However, Charlotte Flair would end up picking up title number 101, and this would be the breaking point for Becky Lynch, as she would turn on her former partner and best friend by attacking Charlotte after the match. It was supposed to be a momentous heel turn, and it was, but for the wrong reason. Instead of fans booing her, they were embracing her because we felt as though she deserved so much better, and now she wasn't taking shit from anyone anymore. The change in attitude is what we needed to see. She would dress up in disguise just to beat up Charlotte. She disrespected John Cena and told Edge to make sure he didn't break his neck when he gets out of her ring. Becky would go on to make history by being one of the first females to main event WrestleMania, and she got her big moment by beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair on the same night. And so many people were happy for Becky to get her big moment after years and years of being mistreated. However, this would be the start of the decline for her. There's a certain phrase that goes along the lines of, the journey is better than the destination, and this is true of Becky Lynch. I mean, we loved seeing her going on the journey of capturing the title as opposed to her holding on to the title. I mean, it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin's run with the WWE title. He never held on to the title for a long time, and a majority of the time he was more consistently entertaining to go after the title and what he would do to win the title as opposed to being an undefeatable champion. One of the problems with Becky Lynch in current day WWE is the fact that she hasn't been fed any real proper opponents. I mean, straight off the bat, she got into a feud with Lacey Evans, and although it was a hell of a way to push Lacey Evans, she was nowhere near ready to be a part of a main event feud so fast, so it really went nowhere. After that, she went on to wrestle Natalya, and the only reason that Natalya was in that feud to begin with was because SummerSlam was in Canada that year, and you gotta have Natty represent the women. Not based on her own wrestling skill, of course, but because she's Canadian, damn it. And of course, no one ever thought that she was going to beat Becky Lynch at all, which of course didn't happen, and Becky Lynch retained her Raw Women's Championship that day. Although Sasha Banks was a very real opponent for Becky Lynch, the feud ended prematurely, and it wasn't given enough time to breathe and be its own thing. They went back to the feud with Asuka after Asuka made Becky Lynch tap out at the Royal Rumble the year prior, but they only made it into one match, and that was it. No rematch or anything. Aside from a few bright spots with Sasha Banks and Asuka, there hasn't been much to show Becky Lynch to see how talented she really is as a wrestler and in-ring performer. It also didn't help that the Raw Women's roster is a complete joke, with no offense to the talent, but these women can't be taken seriously. I mean, they're like women like Lana, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. I mean, These women are talented and good workers, but WWE has not put in the time and effort to make them stars, which not only does a disservice to them, but it does a disservice to Becky Lynch as a champion looking for formidable challengers. I mean, at one point, Becky Lynch stopped defending her Raw Women's Championship to go after the women's tag titles because there weren't any more legitimate challengers for her title. We as fans want to see her evolve. We want to see her become something else. I mean, what if Sting never evolved into the Crow-like character that we all know and love today, and he stayed as the bleached blonde surfer Sting? I guarantee you that the fans would have turned on Sting at that point as well. Now, a lot of people online, they want to see Becky Lynch change, and they've been vocal about this. I mean, she's been pushed as this unbeatable champion, beating nearly all her competition, and Shayna Baszler finally seemed as though she was going to be the one to beat Becky Lynch for her women's title at WrestleMania. And when Becky won, we weren't happy for her like we were last year at WrestleMania. But we were disappointed because for the most part, we're over her reign as champion. Overexposure is also a problem because Becky's been on WWE TV for way too long, and you can only come up with so many fresh ideas for Becky Lynch. At first, it was fresh to see Becky Lynch as the man, but it's slowly starting to get stale. I mean, she's calling herself the GOAT and wearing goofy glasses, but this is not why we fell in love with the man. We love the man because she wouldn't take shit from anyone, and slowly but surely, with each title defense, the cheers were starting to fade for her. Now, don't get me wrong, she still is over with the crowd heavily, but she doesn't feel like the star she once was when she was starting to become the man. At this point, Becky Lynch has been Raw Women's Champion for 1 year, beating every woman on the main roster, and it doesn't help that she rarely loses on TV. The real question is now, who beats her? She's been pushed beyond any belief, and her star is slowly starting to fade. However, with the corona epidemic and wrestling taking an indefinite hiatus, maybe when WWE comes back, they can have some fresh ideas for the man, because if she keeps going the way that she's going, then it won't be long before the fans start to boo her like they were booing a certain big dog.